flashing. But what if I told you there are some cars that are almost guaranteed to give you that sinking feeling? Today, we're counting down some of the most unreliable cars with engine and transmission issues so bad they could make your wallet cry. Whether you're looking to buy new or used, you'll want to stick around for this one. First on the list is Nissan. And no, we're not talking about the Fast and Furious GTR. Instead, let's shine the spotlight on the infamous CVT transmissions that have plagued models like the Altima, Rogue, and Sentra. Now, if you're wondering what a CVT is, it stands for Continuously Variable Transmission, a fancy way of saying it's supposed to give you smoother acceleration and better fuel efficiency. Sounds great in theory, right? Well, Nissan's execution of this technology has been, how do I put this, a disaster. These CVTs are notorious for overheating, slipping, and then finally, just giving up entirely. Imagine driving, and suddenly it feels like your car just took an extended nap in the middle of the road. Not ideal, right? These issues typically hit between 30,000 and 50,000 miles, which in car years is basically infancy. And if your transmission decides to throw in the towel, be prepared to shell out a whopping $3,500 to $5,000 for a replacement. That's like paying for a tropical vacation, except you get a transmission instead of memories on the beach. To their credit, Nissan has tried to put a band-aid on this by extending warranties and issuing some recalls. But let's be honest, many owners feel like Nissan's customer service has been more meh than wow. So unless you enjoy living on the edge and gambling with your car's transmission, you might want to steer clear of used Nissans with these CVTs. Next up, let's talk about Hyundai and Kia, the dynamic duo known for stylish designs, affordable prices, and some of the best warranties in the game. But there's a catch, and it comes in the form of their Theta 2 engines, which have earned a reputation for being, well, a bit of a fire hazard. We're not talking figuratively here. These engines have been involved in one of the largest recalls in automotive history. Over 1.6 million vehicles have been recalled due to engine knocking, stalling, and the occasional engine fire. And no, it's not the kind of fire you want to brag about. Hyundai and Kia's Theta 2 engine has been found in popular models like the Hyundai Sonata, Kia Optima, Santa Fe, and Sorento. The main issue? Metal debris left in the engine during manufacturing, which can block oil flow. The result? Overheating, engine seizures, and yes, fires. Hyundai and Kia have extended warranties and offered free engine replacements, but the process hasn't been smooth. Many owners are still fighting to get their repairs done in a timely manner, and others are frustrated with delays and a lack of communication. It's like having that great warranty, but needing a miracle to get it honored. Now let's talk Volkswagen, the brand famous for its precision German engineering. But even the best engineers have their off days. And the 1.5L TFSI engine, also known as the EA211, is proof of that. This engine is found in popular models like the Volkswagen Golf, Tiguan, and Passat, and while it might look good on paper, it's been causing some real-world headaches. Many drivers have reported jerky acceleration, engine hesitation, and random power loss. Exactly the kind of issues you don't want when you're navigating city streets or merging onto the highway. The cause? It seems to be a combination of engine design quirks and software issues that even updates haven't fully resolved. While Volkswagen has issued software patches to try and fix the problem, the complexity of the engine means that when things go wrong, it's not an easy or cheap fix. If you're looking at a VW with this engine, make sure you've got a good mechanic on speed dial, and maybe a little extra cash set aside for repairs. Let's face it, engine and transmission failures are some of the most expensive car problems you can face. Whether it's replacing a Nissan CVT, a Hyundai Kia engine, or fixing the quirks of a Volkswagen TFSI, you're looking at repair costs that could seriously dent your wallet. Here's the breakdown. Replacing a Nissan CVT can cost between $3,500 and $5,000 depending on the model. A Theta 2 engine replacement for Hyundai or Kia? That'll set you back over $4,000, and the Volkswagen TFSI? Repairs can vary, but if you're dealing with software and engine problems, don't expect it to be cheap. And it's not just the money, it's the time and stress of being without your car for days or even weeks while waiting for parts or repairs. For a lot of people, that inconvenience can be even worse than the repair bill. So what's the takeaway? Do your homework. Whether you're shopping for a new or used car, research is your best friend. Look up common problems recalls and always get a vehicle history report before you commit. Trust me, it's way better to spend a few extra minutes researching than to end up with one of these problem cars. Stay informed, stay cautious, and most importantly, avoid these models like your bank account depends on it. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that 2025 Toyota Sienna is here, and it's bringing style, hybrid power, and all the tech a family could need. This isn't just your average family vehicle. It's packed with efficiency and features that redefine the minivan. Let's explore why the 2025 Sienna is the minivan you've been waiting for. Let's talk about what's under the hood. The 2025 Sienna comes equipped with a 2.5-liter four-cylinder hybrid engine that generates 245 horsepower. Now this isn't a sports car, but for a minivan, it's got plenty of power to handle city driving, highways, and long road trips. What really stands out is the fuel efficiency. The Sienna offers an impressive 36 mpg combined for front-wheel drive models and 35 mpg for all-wheel drive. For a family vehicle, that means fewer stops at the gas station and more savings in your pocket. One of the Sienna's best features is the availability of all-wheel drive AWD on every trim. Whether you're driving in snow, rain, or just want extra control on the road, the Sienna has you covered. AWD can make a huge difference, especially for families living in colder climates. If you love outdoor adventures, the Woodland Edition takes it a step further, with standard AED and extra ground clearance for light off-roading or camping trips. It's the minivan that's ready for a weekend getaway as well as everyday errands. Step inside the 2025 Sienna, and you'll find a tech-filled, spacious interior designed for modern families. Starting with the LE trim, you get an 8-inch touchscreen, but the higher trims like the XLE and Platinum step it up with a massive 12.3-inch display. Both options come with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and even Amazon Alexa integration. This means you can control everything from music to navigation with just your voice. And if you're looking for entertainment in the back, the rear seat entertainment system comes with an 11.6-inch display, perfect for keeping the kids entertained on long road trips. One of my favorite features, the fridge box. Yes, you heard that right. There's an optional built-in fridge to keep drinks cool on those long drives. And when the inevitable messes happen, the built-in vacuum is there to save the day. And we're just getting started. Stay tuned, because coming up, we'll dive into the Sienna's advanced safety features and break down the different trims to find the perfect one for your family. Don't go anywhere. Now, let's talk safety. The 2025 Toyota Sienna comes with Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 as standard on all trims. This means you get advanced features like adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning with steering assist, automatic emergency braking, and even pedestrian detection. With blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert, you'll be able to drive confidently, knowing that your Sienna is watching out for you and your family. And there's even a rear seat reminder, because Toyota knows how important it is to ensure no one gets left behind, even after a long, busy day. Let's break down the trims and pricing, so you can find the Sienna that fits your lifestyle. The base LE trim starts at $40,635, and it offers great standard features like tri-zone climate control and the 8-inch touchscreen. For a step up, the XLE is priced at around $45,445, and it adds premium features like hands-free power sliding doors and the larger 12.3-inch touchscreen. Want something sportier? The XSE trim at $48,090 adds a more aggressive look with 20-inch wheels and a sport-tuned suspension. For the adventurous family, the Woodland Edition at $51,875 includes AWD as standard and gives you that extra ground clearance for light off-roading. Finally, the top-of-the-line Platinum trim sits at $57,595, offering luxury features like heated second-row seats, a head-up display, and the highly sought-after fridge box. So what do you think? The 2025 Toyota Sienna delivers on all fronts: hybrid efficiency, advanced tech, top-notch safety, and the versatility every family needs. Is this your next family vehicle? Let us know in the comments below. Into the top 10 most reliable American engines of all time, but we're doing things a little differently. We're starting from the least reliable and working our way up to the absolute best. These engines have proven themselves with their durability, dependability, and ability to go the distance. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more automotive content. Let's jump in. Kicking things off at number 10 is the Ford 5.0-liter Coyote V8. This modern engine, introduced in 2011, powers the Mustang GT and F-150. Known for its high revving power and dependability, it easily hits 200,000 miles. However, being relatively new compared to the others on this list, it lacks the long-term track record that older engines boast. Still, it's a strong performer that has earned its place. Next, at number 9 is the Dodge 5.7-liter Hemi V8. Launched in 2003, this engine has been a staple in Ram trucks, Chargers, and Challengers. Its unmistakable growl and power are legendary, and it can rack up 200,000 miles with the proper care. However, occasional issues with things like cylinder deactivation lower its ranking on the reliability scale. At number 8, we have the Chevrolet Duramax 6.6-liter V8 diesel, introduced in 2001. Known for powering Chevy and GMC heavy-duty trucks, this diesel engine provides impressive towing power and long-term dependability. While many Duramax engines exceed 300,000 miles, they require regular maintenance to keep them running in top condition, putting them slightly lower on the list. At number 7, we've got the GM LS Series V8. Launched in 1997, this engine powers a variety of vehicles, from Corvettes to Silverado trucks. The LS series is known for its reliability and adaptability, with plenty of enthusiasts using it for modifications and engine swaps. While it's durable, it hasn't quite reached the legendary durability of some older engines on this list. At number 6 is the Ford 7.3-liter Powerstroke diesel V8. Famous for powering Ford Super Duty trucks from 1994 to 2003, this diesel engine is known for its ruggedness and ability to reach 500,000 miles or more. It's perfect for heavy-duty jobs, but like many diesels, it requires a little more upkeep than some of the simpler engines on this list. Coming in at number 5 is the Chrysler Slant 6, an engine that gained a reputation for being nearly indestructible. Produced from 1959 to 2000, this motor powered everything from Dodge Darts to Plymouth Valiants. The Slant 6 could easily last over 300,000 miles with minimal maintenance, making it a legend of its time. At number 4 is the Buick 3800 V6, which powered a wide range of GM vehicles from the 1960s to 2008. This engine became known for being both reliable and fuel efficient, with many of them reaching over 200,000 miles. Its longevity made it a staple in Buicks, Pontiacs, and Oldsmobiles for over 4 decades. Next, at number 3, we've got the Jeep AMC 4.0-liter inline-6. A favorite among Jeep owners, this engine powered Wranglers and Cherokees from 1987 to 2006. Known for lasting well beyond 200,000 miles and thriving in tough conditions, it's a go-to for those who need a rugged, dependable engine. At number 2 is the iconic Chevrolet 350 small block V8. Since 1967, this engine has powered muscle cars, trucks, and everything in between. The 350 is praised for its simplicity, durability, and the ability to last over 300,000 miles. Whether stock or modified, the Chevy 350 has earned its place in the history books as one of the most reliable engines ever built. And finally, at number 1, we have the Ford 300 inline-6. Known for its bulletproof reliability, this engine powered Ford trucks and vans from 1965 to 1996. It's often seen lasting well beyond 300,000 miles, sometimes even pushing 500,000. Its straightforward design and incredible toughness have made it a legend, securing its place as the most reliable American engine of all time. And there you have it, the top 10 most reliable American engines of all time, ranked from least to most reliable. About taking your car from stock to savage? I'm talking about that moment when you're cruising and just know you could squeeze out a little more power, a little more speed, a little more swagger. Well, today's the day we make that happen. Stick around, because I'm about to drop some serious knowledge on the top 10 essential performance upgrades for beginners that'll turn your ride into a beast on the streets. This is the video you'll want to watch, re-watch, and share with your crew. So buckle up, this is going to be one wild ride. Here's the deal. Whether you're just getting started with mods or you're looking to fine-tune your build, we're diving deep into the upgrades that'll give you the most bang for your buck. I'm talking cold air intakes, performance exhausts, tires, suspension, and more. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do to take your car to the next level, without needing a garage full of tools or a PhD in mechanical engineering. And don't worry, I'll keep it simple, straightforward, and most importantly, fun. So let's get this show on the road. Alright, kicking things off with a classic cold air intakes. Imagine your engine as an athlete running a marathon. To keep going strong, it needs to breathe easy. That's where a cold air intake, or CAI, comes into play. By increasing airflow to the engine, you get more power, better throttle response, and improved efficiency. It's a win-win-win situation. Let's break it down a bit more. Your car's stock intake system is designed to be quiet and efficient, but not necessarily performance-oriented. It often pulls air from within the engine bay, where it's warm. Warm air is less dense, meaning less oxygen for combustion, resulting in less power. A CAI relocates the air filter outside the engine bay, typically behind the front bumper or near the fender, where it can draw in cooler, denser air. Cooler air means more oxygen, and more oxygen means a bigger bang in your engine's cylinders. The result? You get that extra kick in the pants when you hit the gas. And here's the kicker. It's one of the easiest mods you can do yourself. You'll be done in an hour tops, and you'll instantly feel the difference the next time you hit the gas. So, if you're looking for a quick, cost-effective upgrade that delivers noticeable results, start here. Next up, let's make some noise with a performance exhaust system. You've probably heard that deep, throaty rumble when a tuned car flies by. That's the sound of an upgraded exhaust. But it's not just about flexing on the road. A performance exhaust reduces back pressure, which lets your engine expel exhaust gases more efficiently. Let me break it down. Your stock exhaust system is designed to be quiet and meet emissions regulations, which is great for daily driving, but not so much for performance. A performance exhaust system typically has larger diameter pipes, fewer vents, and a less restrictive muffler. This allows the exhaust gases to flow more freely, reducing back pressure on the engine. Less back pressure means the engine doesn't have to work as hard to push out exhaust gases, which translates to more power being available to push your car forward. This means more power, better fuel efficiency, and yes, that glorious sound that says, "This ain't no ordinary car." And if you're into the details, you can customize your setup with different mufflers, tips, and materials to get the exact tone and performance you want. For example, stainless steel exhausts offer durability and a clean look, while titanium systems are lighter and even more resistant to corrosion. Whether you're looking for a subtle growl or a full-on roar, this is the upgrade for you. Now, let's talk about the foundation of your car's performance: tires and lightweight wheels. Think of your tires as the only thing connecting your car to the road. If you're rolling on stock tires, you're leaving performance on the table. Upgrading to high-performance tires will drastically improve your grip, handling, and even your braking power. Let's go a little deeper. Tires are made up of different compounds, tread patterns, and sidewall constructions, all of which affect how your car handles. High-performance tires usually have a stickier compound that provides more grip, especially in dry conditions. The tread pattern is designed to maximize contact with the road, improving traction and cornering ability. Trade-off? High-performance tires might wear out faster than all-season tires, but the performance gains are worth it, especially if you love spirited driving. And when you pair them with lightweight wheels, you're cutting down on unsprung weight, which makes your car quicker and more responsive. Unsprung weight is the weight that's not supported by the car's suspension, like the wheels and tires. Reducing this weight improves acceleration, braking, and handling because your car has less mass to move. Plus, let's be real, new wheels just look dope. You can choose from a variety of styles, from aggressive multi-spoke designs to sleek minimalist looks. It's an upgrade you can see, feel, and flex on your friends with. And hey, don't forget to get your wheels balanced after. You want to make sure all that new performance is dialed in right. Feeling like your car's a bit floaty in the corners? It's time to talk suspension upgrades. Whether you're adding performance shocks, struts, or going all in with coilovers, this is where you can really dial in your car's handling. You'll feel more connected to the road, with less body roll and more precise steering. Let's get technical for a minute. Your car's suspension system is designed to keep the tires in contact with the road while providing a comfortable ride. But stock suspension is often a compromise between comfort and performance. Upgrading to performance shocks and struts can reduce body roll and improve your car's ability to handle corners at speed. Coilovers, which combine a shock absorber and a coil spring into a single unit, allow you to adjust ride height and damping to your liking. This means you can lower your car for a more aggressive stance and better handling, or keep it higher for more ground clearance. It's like turning your daily driver into a track-ready machine. Now, I won't lie, installing suspension components can be a bit more involved, but the payoff is huge. You might need to invest in some tools or visit a shop for alignment after the installation, but trust me, it's worth it. And the good news? There's a ton of info out there to guide you through it, whether you're doing it yourself or taking it to a pro. Trust me, once you've felt the difference, you'll never go back. Now let's get into the brain of your car. ECU tuning or remapping. If you're all about extracting every last drop of power from your engine, this is where you need to focus. Your car's ECU controls everything from fuel delivery to ignition timing, and with a tune, you can optimize these parameters for more horsepower and torque. Let's dive a little deeper. Your car's ECU, engine control unit, comes programmed from the factory with settings that balance performance, fuel efficiency, and emissions. But these settings are usually conservative to accommodate a wide range of driving conditions and fuel qualities. ECU tuning involves reprogramming these settings to get more power and efficiency out of your engine. For example, you can adjust the air-fuel ratio to ensure more fuel is burned at higher RPMs, or advance the ignition timing to extract more power from each combustion cycle. Think of it like unlocking a hidden level in a video game. Suddenly everything's faster, more responsive, and way more fun. But here's a pro tip. Make sure you're getting a tune that's specific to your car and its current setup. A generic tune might not give you the best results, especially if you've already added other mods like a CAI or performance exhaust. And if you're running mods like those, a custom tune can help you get the most out of them. It's all about making your car run smarter, not harder. Speed is fun, but stopping is essential. That's why upgraded brake pads and rotors are next on the list. With more power under the hood, you need more stopping power under your foot. Performance brake pads are designed to give you better bite, less fade, and more consistent performance, especially during hard braking. Let's dig into this. Stock brake pads are designed for quiet, smooth operation and long life, but they often sacrifice performance, especially under heavy use. Performance brake pads use different materials like ceramic, metallic, or carbon composites that can handle higher temperatures without losing their effectiveness, a phenomenon known as brake fade. Upgraded rotors, especially slotted or drilled ones, help dissipate heat more effectively, keeping your brakes cooler and more reliable. And if you really want to up your game, pair them with slotted or drilled rotors for even better heat dissipation and stopping power. Slotted rotors have grooves that help evacuate gas and dust generated during braking, while drilled rotors have holes that allow air to flow through, cooling the brakes more effectively. This is an upgrade that's not just about performance, it's about safety. Plus, it's a relatively easy install, so you can do it over a weekend and immediately feel the difference the next time you take your car out for a spin. Manual drivers, this one's for you, short throw shifters. If you love that connected, mechanical feel of rowing through gears, a short throw shifter is a must-have. It reduces the distance your shifter has to travel between gears, which means quicker shifts and a more engaging driving experience. Let's break it down. A short throw shifter changes the pivot point of your gear lever, reducing the distance it has to travel to engage a gear. This not only speeds up your shifts, but also makes them feel more precise and mechanical. It's a small change, but one that can completely transform how you interact with your car. Imagine slicing through gears with the flick of your wrist, each shift crisp and satisfying. Whether you're blasting down a straightaway or carving up some back roads, a short throw shifter makes every gear change feel just that much sweeter. Next up, strut bars. These are one of those mods that don't get a lot of attention, but they make a big difference, especially if you're into spirited driving. A strut bar connects the tops of your suspension struts, which reduces chassis flex and improves handling during hard cornering. Let's go deeper. When you're pushing your car hard through corners, the chassis can flex slightly, which reduces the effectiveness of your suspension. A strut bar ties the tops of the suspension towers together, effectively stiffening the chassis and reducing flex. This means your suspension can do its job more effectively, keeping your tires in better contact with the road. The result? Your car feels more solid, more stable, and more responsive. It's like adding an extra layer of precision to your steering. And the best part? Strut bars are usually a simple bolt-on upgrade, meaning you can install one in no time and immediately start enjoying the benefits. Let's turn up the heat, literally, with high-performance spark plugs. These might seem like a small detail, but they play a crucial role in how efficiently your engine burns fuel. Better spark plugs provide a stronger, more reliable spark, which leads to better combustion. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. Your engine's power comes from the combustion of fuel, and that combustion process starts with a spark. Stock spark plugs are designed to last a long time and work well under a variety of conditions, but they aren't always optimized for performance. High-performance spark plugs are designed to provide a stronger spark, which helps ignite the air-fuel mixture more completely. This leads to more power, better throttle response, and even a slight bump in fuel economy. Plus, they're inexpensive and easy to install. This is one of those why-not upgrades that can only help your car run better. And hey, who doesn't like a little extra power from such a simple mod? If you're planning on other engine mods like a CAI or ECU tune, upgrading your spark plugs is a no-brainer to ensure you're getting the most out of your setup. Last but not least, let's talk about sway bars. If you love hitting those tight turns and want to keep your car flat and composed, sway bars are a must. They connect opposite wheels together, reducing body roll and improving stability when cornering. Let's dive into the details. Body roll happens when your car leans to one side during a turn. This can reduce grip, slow down your cornering speeds, and just make the car feel less planted. Sway bars work by linking the left and right sides of your suspension together, helping to distribute weight more evenly and reducing the amount of roll. This upgrade will make your car feel like it's on rails, giving you the confidence to push harder through the curves. It's one of those mods that makes a big difference in how your car feels on the road, especially if you're into spirited driving or track days. And like the strut bar, sway bars are generally a straightforward install, so you can get them on and enjoy a more planted ride in no time. Now that we've covered the essentials, let me hit you with some quick tips if you're just starting out. First off, don't try to do everything at once. Start with one or two mods, get a feel for the changes, and then move on to the next. This way, you'll really understand how each upgrade impacts your car's performance. Second, do your research. Every car is different, so make sure you're picking upgrades that are compatible with your specific make and model. What works wonders on one car might not have the same effect on another, so take the time to dig into forums, watch videos, and talk to other enthusiasts who've modded the same vehicle. And lastly, keep up with regular maintenance. Mods are great, but they won't do much if your car isn't running right in the first place. Stay on top of oil changes, tire rotations, and all that good stuff to keep your ride in top shape. Remember, a well-maintained car is a happy car, and a happy car performs better. And there you have it, 10 essential performance upgrades that'll take your car from zero to hero, plus a few bonus tips to get you started on the right foot. We've talked about everything from cold air intakes to sway bars, and now it's your turn to hit the garage. Who hasn't daydreamed about owning a supercar? You know, the kind that screams down the highway, makes your neighbors jealous, and has you questioning if you'll ever need another coffee with how fast it wakes you up. But here's the thing. What really makes these beasts so different from your everyday sedan? Why is this a poster on your wall, and this just what you drive to work? Today we're diving deep. Supercar versus regular car. What really sets them apart in terms of performance, design, and technology? And trust me, after this, you might look at your daily driver a little differently. Let's go. First up, the heartbeat of any car, the engine. Now, when it comes to power, let's just say the supercar is all about flexing. We're talking engines that sound like thunder. V8, V10, V12, names that sound like they came straight out of a Marvel movie. The McLaren 720S here pushes out a mind-bending 710 horsepower. That's almost 10 times more than the first car you probably drove, which, let's be honest, was lucky to hit 100 GP without complaining. Now, your everyday sedan? It's a bit more like a solid gym membership. It's there when you need it, dependable, but it's not exactly going to blow your socks off. A typical 4-cylinder or V6 engine is all about that smooth, fuel-efficient drive. 0-60, you might want to grab a coffee and come back in a minute. And supercars don't just go, they explode off the line. We're talking 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, folks. That's quicker than some of y'all can even unlock your phone. Meanwhile, the family sedan? Let's just say it's more about getting to the grocery store comfortably than racing the clock. Now let's talk about looks. Supercars don't just walk into the room, they own it. They're low, mean, and designed to cut through the wind like a hot knife through butter. These lines aren't just for show though. Every curve, every sharp angle has a purpose. It's all about aerodynamics, baby. Less drag means more speed. Your regular car though, it's like your favorite hoodie. Practical, comfortable, gets the job done. But nobody's staring when you roll up to the office, you know? The designers weren't thinking about racing, they were thinking about headroom, trunk space, and making sure you can fit 5 people without squeezing. Supercars even have active aerodynamics. We're talking spoilers that adjust themselves in real time, diffusers keeping the car planted on the ground at high speeds. It's like they're literally transforming while you drive. Your sedan? Well, it transforms too, into your Uber when you need a ride home. When it comes to tech, supercars are basically spaceships. Performance telemetry, driving modes like sport or even track, launch control, it's like a video game, but in real life. You're getting real-time data on everything. Tire pressure, G-forces, torque distribution. It's not just driving anymore, it's engineering on wheels. Now, your regular car, it's not exactly built for the track, but it's got its own set of gadgets. Infotainment systems, navigation, those sweet heated seats that feel like a warm hug on a cold morning. And don't get me started on the cup holders. Ever seen a supercar with decent cup holders? Exactly. Supercars give you the tech to break the speed of sound. Regular cars give you the tech to break rush hour boredom. They each have their place, right? So what's the verdict? Supercars are fast, furious, and built for those who live life in the fast lane. Literally, they're about pushing limits, turning heads, and giving you an adrenaline rush that makes your heart race just as fast as the engine. But they're not exactly practical, are they? Regular cars, though, they're the unsung heroes. They get you from point A to point B without drama. They keep you comfortable, safe, and let's be honest, most of us need that more often than we need to hit 200 miles per hour. At the end of the day, whether you're chasing the thrill or just getting through your daily commute, both cars have their charm. But now, you know what sets them apart? If you want to keep dreaming about supercars or maybe learn more about how your regular car works behind the scenes, hit that subscribe button and join the ride. We've got more deep dives, comparisons, and maybe even a chance for you to see some of these bad boys in action. Hit that like button, comment below which car you think takes the crown, and trust me, you're not going to want to miss what we've got coming next. Catch you in the next video. Insane production cars to ever conquer the Nürburgring, aka the Green Hell. This list is packed with mind-blowing machines, including one that just smashed its own world record. So buckle up, hit that like button, and stay tuned because you're about to witness some straight-up speed history. Oh, and if you're here for those generic, boring car lists, this ain't it. This is where precision meets power, where records fall, and where we push the limits of what's possible. So hit that subscribe button and join the fastest-growing car community on YouTube before you miss out on the next wild ride. We're kicking things off with the undisputed king of the ring, the Mercedes-AMG one. This beast just ripped through the ring in 6 minutes, 29 seconds. That's right, it broke its own record from 2022. This baby is straight out of Formula One, literally. A 1.6-liter V6 turbocharged hybrid plus 4 electric motors. Can we even call this thing a car anymore? It's like racing a jet with wheels. And if you're thinking, what's a V6 doing in the fastest car on the planet? Remember, it's not the size of the engine, it's how you use it. Next up, one of the legends, the Porsche 911 GT2 RS with the Manthe Performance Kit. Porsche never sleeps when it comes to speed, and this one hit 638, 835 back in 2021. The aero package alone looks like it was designed to part the Red Sea. And let's not forget that flat 6 engine roaring like it's angry at the world. But honestly, with this kind of speed, you could probably order a pizza at the start of the lap and pick it up at the finish line, hot and fresh. Now, here's another Porsche flexing on the ring, the 911 GT3 RS with a crazy 644 time. This one's for the purists, a naturally aspirated beast with handling so precise, it feels like it's reading your mind. Porsche basically said, why go turbo when you can make pure engineering perfection? Every corner this car takes feels like it's on rails. And trust me, this one's all about finesse, baby. Let's be real, if you're late to work in this thing, it's probably because you took the long way just for fun. The Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. This raging bull came out swinging with a 44.97 lap back in 2018. V12 power at its finest. And let's be honest, half the reason anyone wants this car is to hear that V12 scream like a banshee as it hits the high RPMs. You don't drive an Aventador to be subtle. This is the car you take when you want your neighbors to know you're rich and loud. And then we've got the Mercedes-AMG GT Black Series, clocking in at 643, 616. This one is all business, no frills. Think of it as the evil twin of the GT lineup, built for the track, born to break records, and it doesn't care who gets left in the dust. This is the kind of car you don't bring to a street race. You bring it to win one. Now, for all you electric heads, we've got something special. Meet the Rimac Nevera, fastest production EV on the planet, hitting the ring in 705. And get this, it's not just fast, it's silent. Well, mostly. I mean, sure, it's got 1,914 horsepower, but this thing glides through the air like a ninja. You won't hear it coming, but you'll definitely see it leaving. It's like getting passed by a stealth bomber, but with Bluetooth. And there you have it, the top 6 speed demons at the Nürburgring. Each one breaking records, pushing limits, and making us all wish we could take them for a spin, or 2, or 10. Now here's the deal. If you love these cars, that after it won Le Mans, they banned it. Yeah, you heard that right. The Mazda 787B is the only rotary-powered car to ever win the world's toughest endurance race, and they made sure it stayed that way. Why? What made this beast so legendary that it was deemed too dangerous to come back? Stick around, because this is the insane story of a car that rewrote the rules at Le Mans. Imagine pulling up to the biggest race in the world with a car that doesn't sound like anything else on the track, doesn't move like anything else, and then obliterates the competition. Just when you're ready to come back and do it all over again, the rulebook says, nope, you're too good. Banned. Why? What did Mazda do to make Le Mans literally rewrite the rules after their historic victory in 1991? Trust me, this story is about more than speed. It's about changing the game. Let's roll back to 1991. Le Mans, the Super Bowl of endurance racing. 24 hours of non-stop driving where cars are pushed to their absolute limits. And here comes Mazda with their 787B, powered by something no one else was using, a rotary engine. Now, most cars run on piston engines, you know, your classic vroom vroom, but Mazda, they showed up with a 4-rotor Wankel engine, the R26B. Here's why that's wild. The rotary engine is way lighter, simpler, and it revs insanely high, up to 9,000 revolutions per minute. It produced a screeching 700 horsepower and could still keep up with the bigger, heavier piston engine cars. The 787B was like an underdog that came out swinging. You hear that? That's the sound of 24 hours of relentless high-speed domination. Mazda didn't just finish, they took the win by 2 whole laps. And just when they were gearing up for a return in 92, they hit a wall. A rule change, courtesy of the FIA. And here's where it gets really interesting. After Mazda's win, the FIA, which governs Le Mans, announced a major rule shakeup. They decided that starting in 1992, the top category, Group C, would only allow 3.5-liter piston engines, the same type of engines being used in Formula 1 at the time. In other words, no more rotary engines. Look, you don't ban something just because it sounds cool, right? But this wasn't just about noise. This was a huge shift towards aligning with more conventional engines and attracting big manufacturers like Peugeot, Mercedes-Benz, and Toyota. Mazda's rotary didn't fit that new vision. The rotary engine gave Mazda an edge. It was lighter, smaller, and could rev higher, meaning fewer pit stops and a more reliable engine over 24 hours. But there was a downside: fuel consumption. That 787B was a beast, but it also guzzled fuel like there was no tomorrow. And endurance racing was starting to shift toward more fuel-efficient, eco-friendly technology. Here's where the Mazda story gets deeper. The rotary engine was a genius piece of engineering, but it had its flaws. The Wankel engine is simpler than traditional piston engines, fewer moving parts, no valves, and it's smaller. This made it great for weight reduction and higher RPMs, but the downsides? Rotary engines burn a lot of fuel and oil, like a lot. They're also known for being less efficient at turning fuel into usable power. Mazda's engineers pushed the limits to make it reliable, but the reality was, it wasn't the most efficient engine out there. Endurance racing was starting to focus on sustainability. Less fuel, fewer pit stops, and Mazda's rotary? It was, let's just say, not the greenest car on the track. So while Mazda fans might argue that the rotary was banned because it was too dominant, the truth is, the FIA and ACO wanted a level playing field with engines that could be used in both racing and road cars. Rotary engines? Yeah, cool in concept, but not practical for your average driver. And definitely not what the sport wanted to showcase in the new era of Le Mans. And before you ask, no, Mazda didn't slip a rotary engine into your mom's minivan, though wouldn't that have been fun? But here's the real kicker. Just because they banned the rotary from racing doesn't mean the 787B was forgotten. Today, it's a legend. Mazda's victory wasn't just a win, it was a statement. This car still gets paraded around at events, and fans? They still freak out when they hear that distinct rotary scream. The Mazda 787B wasn't just another race car, it was an icon, a symbol of how thinking outside the box can lead to historic victories. And while the rotary engine may never race at Le Mans again, its legacy will never be forgotten. And hey, if you're into stories like this, cars that broke the mold and changed the racing world, hit that subscribe button. I've got more of these insane racing stories coming your way. And let's be honest, you don't want to miss more legendary cars and racing drama, right? Or are you going to settle for stories about boring engines? Nah, I didn't think so. Hit subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. are gonna save the planet, right? But what if I told you there's more to the story? Yeah, that's right. Today we're diving deep into the EV versus gas-powered car debate. And trust me, the truth might surprise you. We've all seen those sleek electric cars buzzing around, and yeah, they look clean, but let's rewind. What happens before these cars hit the road? What people don't always talk about is the cost of building them. Those big EV batteries, they're made from materials like lithium, cobalt, and nickel. Sounds fancy, right? But here's the catch. Getting those metals out of the ground isn't exactly a green process. The mining involved is rough on the environment. Think big machines, huge pits in the ground, and a whole lot of energy. It's kind of like seeing your dream car get a giant scratch before you've even driven it. Painful. Now don't give up on the electric dream just yet. Gotta keep it fair. Building a gas-powered car isn't all roses either. You're talking steel, aluminum, and all the parts that go into it. Plus, you're making an engine that's designed to burn fuel for its entire life. And here's the plot twist. EVs start their lives with a bigger carbon footprint. Yep, on day one, the electric vehicle is carrying more environmental baggage than your standard gas car. Surprised? But wait, don't bounce yet, because the story's just getting good. Once these cars hit the road, things start to shift. For every mile you drive an electric car, it gets cleaner. But there's a catch. How are you charging it? Not all electricity is created equal. If you're somewhere with renewable energy, like wind or solar, your EV's living that green dream. But if you're charging up in a place where electricity still comes from coal, yeah, your eco-friendly ride might be running on power that's not so clean after all. It's like thinking you're eating a salad, but it's covered in bacon bits. Still kinda good, but not what you signed up for. Here's the real kicker though. Over the lifetime of an electric vehicle, even if your electricity mix isn't perfect, EVs still end up being cleaner than gas-powered cars. Every time you fill up a gas car, you're burning fuel and adding more carbon to the atmosphere. EVs, on the other hand, they get better as the grid gets greener. So yeah, there's hope, real hope, but let's not gloss over the long-term picture. What happens when these cars are done? End of life, baby. Now gas cars, they're made of materials we've been recycling for decades. Steel, aluminum, you name it. But EVs, those batteries don't just fade away into the sunset, they've got a shelf life, and recycling them is a whole different ballgame. It's not as simple as melting down some metal and calling it a day. There's a lot of innovation happening right now to improve battery recycling, but we're not quite there yet. It's like trying to recycle your phone, times 1,000. So, who's really winning this green showdown? It's complicated. In the long run, EVs have the potential to clean up our act, especially as renewable energy takes over. But it's not as simple as EVs good, gas cars bad. Both come with their own set of issues. And honestly, the best way to reduce your environmental impact is probably just driving less altogether. Yeah, I said it. But hey, we all need to get around, right? So if you're picking between an EV and a gas car, it's all about knowing the facts. But let's be real. There's another player in the game we haven't touched on yet. Hydrogen. Oh yeah, hydrogen-powered vehicles. It's a technology that's been quietly waiting in the wings. A lot of people don't even know about it. But hydrogen vehicles could change the conversation entirely. Unlike EVs, they don't rely on big batteries full of rare metals. Instead, they use fuel cells that turn hydrogen into electricity. No tailpipe emissions, just water vapor. Sounds cool, right? But there's a catch, and it's a big one. Hydrogen is tricky. Right now, most of the hydrogen we produce comes from natural gas, which, you guessed it, is a fossil fuel. So we're not quite there yet. But imagine a world where we're making hydrogen using renewable energy like wind or solar. That would be a game changer, no doubt. The tech is still evolving, but it's one to keep an eye on. Now, if you're still here, first of all, you're awesome. Second of all, I'm not saying you should ditch your gas car tomorrow or run out and buy an EV today. This is all about balance and making the best choice for where you are and how you drive. But here's the thing. Whether you're a gearhead or an eco-warrior, this conversation isn't going anywhere. So hit that subscribe button and stick around because we're diving into even more of this in future videos. Don't leave me hanging. You know you want to stay in the loop? Before we wrap up, let's not forget the wild card in this whole debate, charging infrastructure. It's great to have an EV, but if you don't have anywhere to charge it, that's a problem. And sure, cities are rolling out charging stations like hotcakes, but in more rural areas, not so much. We've got to think about accessibility and convenience, especially if we want more people to make the switch. So, there you have it. EVs aren't perfect. Gas cars definitely aren't perfect. Hydrogen, it's still on the sidelines. The future of transportation is complicated, but it's exciting. And at the end of the day, it's not just about the cars we drive, it's about how we power them and what we're doing to make this planet a cleaner place for all of us. If you're into the tech, the green movement, or just want to know what's really going on under the hood, you're in the right spot. Subscribe, join the accident waiting to happen. Well, in the US, there are highways that make your daily commute feel like child's play. Some roads are infamous for their high accident rates, unpredictable weather conditions, or just their treacherous design. You think you're a skilled driver? Let's see how you'd handle these 10 deadliest roads in America. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, where we explore everything with wheels and a little bit of danger on the side. Today, we're diving into roads so risky, even the most confident drivers might want to think twice before tackling them. Whether it's icy highways, twisty mountain passes, or stretches where bad drivers roam, these roads have earned their dangerous reputations. So hit that subscribe button, buckle up, and let's get into it. Starting with a legend, the $1 Million Highway, US Route 550 in Colorado. They call it the $1 Million Highway for its breathtaking views, but many say it also refers to the $1 million risks you take driving it. This 25-mile stretch between Silverton and Ouray is notorious for its narrow lanes, steep cliffs, and get this, no guardrails. One wrong turn, and you're tumbling down the side of a mountain. To add to the thrill, this road can be a nightmare during winter when snow and ice make it even more treacherous. Avalanches and rock slides are common, making the drive a white knuckler for even the most seasoned travelers. Next, we've got Interstate 10 in Arizona. Interstate 10 cuts across the desert, but don't be fooled by the flat, seemingly harmless terrain. This highway is notorious for deadly head-on collisions, often caused by dust storms known as hablums. These sudden walls of dust reduce visibility to near zero in seconds, leaving drivers caught in dangerous pileups. On top of that, the high speeds and heavy truck traffic make it one of the deadliest highways in the state, with a history of fatal accidents. Up next is US Route 50 in Nevada, better known as the loneliest road in America. This nickname isn't just for dramatic effect. Stretching through desolate desert terrain, US Route 50 is extremely remote, with long sections where you won't see another car, let alone a gas station. Break down here without supplies and you're in trouble. Extreme summer heat or freezing winter conditions can be deadly, and help is often hours away. For a road that offers little in terms of emergency services, it's easy to see how the loneliest road can turn dangerous fast. Now let's talk about the tail of the dragon, US Route 129, on the Tennessee-North Carolina border. This road is legendary among motorcyclists and sports car enthusiasts for its 318 curves over just 11 miles. The sharp hairpin turns and steep drop-offs leave no room for error. The road's isolation means rescue can take a while, and frequent accidents, ranging from crashes to rollovers, are a sad reality here. The Tree of Shame, located at a nearby resort, is decorated with pieces of wrecked motorcycles as a memorial to those who have underestimated this beast of a road. California's Highway 1, also known as the Pacific Coast Highway, is up next. With its stunning cliffside views of the Pacific Ocean, it's easy to get distracted. But Highway 1 also ranks as one of the deadliest roads in the U.S. for its narrow, winding lanes that cling to the cliffs with few guardrails. The frequent fog and landslides make the road even riskier, especially for those unfamiliar with its dangerous curves. Despite its beauty, the PCH demands complete focus behind the wheel. Heading to the Sunshine State, Interstate 95 in Florida is our next dangerous stretch. I-95, particularly the section between Miami and Jacksonville, is one of the busiest and most accident-prone highways in America. It's notorious for aggressive drivers, high speeds, and heavy congestion. During Florida's frequent summer rainstorms, the road becomes especially treacherous, with slick conditions leading to spinouts and pileups. In fact, parts of I-95 have consistently ranked among the deadliest stretches of highway in the U.S. for fatalities per mile. Let's talk about Texas' U.S. Route 285, ominously nicknamed Death Highway. Stretching through the Permian Basin, this road sees constant traffic from oilfield workers and massive trucks. The combination of heavy vehicle loads, fatigued drivers, and high speeds leads to frequent, often deadly accidents. Head-on collisions are a common cause of fatalities here, with drivers drifting across lanes after long hours on the road. Locals know to treat US 285 with caution. This highway doesn't forgive mistakes. Over to Colorado again, we've got Interstate 70 through the Rockies. I-70 is a scenic route through the Rocky Mountains, but it can quickly turn deadly in winter. Snow, ice, and sudden weather changes turn this interstate into a slick nightmare. With its steep inclines and heavy semi-truck traffic, it's no surprise that multi-car pileups and crashes are common, especially during snowstorms. Avalanches are another constant threat, as this interstate cuts through some of the most mountainous terrain in the U.S. Now let's hit Interstate 80 in Wyoming. This long, mostly straight highway may not seem dangerous at first glance, but don't be fooled. I-80 is infamous for brutal crosswinds and black ice during Wyoming's harsh winters. The wind can be so strong, it's been known to flip over semi-trucks. In bad weather, the highway can turn into a deadly mix of ice and blowing snow, causing major pileups and dangerous conditions for any drivers brave enough to stay on the road. Finally, we've got US Route 2 in Montana. Running along the northern edge of the state, Route 2 is one of the most isolated roads in the U.S. It stretches through miles of open rural land where help is often hours away. High speeds and a lack of emergency services make accidents out here especially deadly. In winter, snow and ice are major hazards, while wildlife like deer can dart into the road without warning, adding to the dangers. So there you have it, 10 of the deadliest roads in America, each with its own brand of danger. Have you driven on any of these? If you have, or if you're brave enough to, drop a comment below and let us know your experience. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. We've got more gold mine, but it's not cash, stocks, or crypto. It's a muscle car in your garage. Yeah, that hunk of steel could make you rich, but you might not even know it yet. Today we're talking about 5 muscle cars that are about to skyrocket in value. And trust me, if you don't already have your eye on these, you're sleeping on a serious opportunity. These aren't just cars, they're investment pieces. And in a few years, you could be sitting on a fortune. The muscle car market is shifting fast. The most iconic, gas-guzzling beasts from the 60s to the 90s are getting harder to find in great condition, and collectors are paying big bucks to get their hands on them. But here's the kicker. While everyone's chasing the typical Mustang or Camaro, some hidden gems are flying under the radar, waiting to explode in value. That's where we come in, breaking it down for you so you can stay ahead of the curve. These aren't just any muscle cars. The 5 I'm about to hit you with, they're poised to become the new legends of the muscle car world. Whether you're a collector, a gearhead, or just looking to make a smart investment. Yeah, cars as investments. These are the rides that can make you serious cash in the next few years. Let's kick things off with something iconic, but still flying a little under the radar. First up, the 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner. Now, if you know your Mopar, you know this car is no joke. The Roadrunner was created to be a bare-bones muscle car. Nothing flashy, just pure power for the average guy who wanted to tear up the streets. But here's where it gets interesting. The ones that came with the 446-pack engine, those are straight-up beasts. We're talking about 390 horsepower from a 7.2-liter V8. This car was designed for performance and affordability. And while the Charger and Challenger might get more attention, the Roadrunner is about to make its comeback in a big way. Why? Because clean, unmodified Roadrunners, especially ones with the 440 or Hemi, are becoming rare. Collectors are waking up to this, and prices are climbing. Right now, you can snag a solid example for around 40K to 60K, but mark my words. This car is on its way to crossing the 6-figure mark in the next few years. Mopar muscle is on fire in the market right now, and if you're lucky enough to find a clean Roadrunner, it's going to pay for itself and then some. Now let's take a leap into something a little more modern, but no less legendary. The 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS. This might surprise some people, but don't sleep on the 96 Impala SS. Back in the mid-90s, Chevrolet did something wild. They dropped the Corvette's LT1 V8 into a full-size sedan and created a stealth muscle car. It's big, it's mean, and it's got the power to back it up. The 5.7-liter V8 cranked out 260 horsepower, which might not sound insane today, but back then, for a family sedan, it was a beast. Here's why it's about to make you some money. Collectors are waking up to this car's potential. It's got that cult following, especially among people who remember it from the 90s. And clean examples, they're getting harder and harder to find. Right now, you can pick one up for around 20K to 30K, but trust me, that's about to change. Younger collectors, nostalgic for the 90s, are driving up demand, and prices are only going to go up from here. Next, let's talk about something classic but criminally underrated. The 1971 Ford Torino Cobra. I know everyone's all about the Mustangs, but let me tell you, the Torino Cobra is a sleeper hit. The 1971 model, especially the ones with the 429 Cobra jet engine, is an absolute beast. Ford only made a few thousand of these, and they don't get nearly the attention they deserve. With 370 horsepower under the hood and that aggressive fastback design, the Torino Cobra was built to go toe-to-toe with the muscle car heavyweights of the era. But here's the kicker, it's still affordable compared to Mustangs. Right now, you can pick up a solid example for around 40K to 60K, but with the way things are trending, especially for rare muscle cars, this one's about to shoot up in value. Collectors are already starting to recognize the Torino Cobra for what it is, a hidden gem in Ford's lineup, and as more people realize what a monster this car was, its value is going to blow up. Don't say I didn't warn you. Now let's get back to Mopar with another sleeper pick. The 1973 Dodge Charger SE. Everybody talks about the 68, 70 Chargers, and yeah, they're iconic, but the 73 Charger SE, that's the one to watch. This car is still classic Charger muscle, but with a little more refinement and a touch of 70s flair. The SE trim especially had some luxury options like leather seats and air conditioning that make it stand out today. The thing is, while earlier Chargers are already commanding sky-high prices, the 73 Charger is still affordable, for now. You can find a good example for around 30K to 50K. But the thing is, as the demand for Mopar muscle continues to rise, and it will, the 73 Charger SE is going to blow up in value. If you want to get ahead of the curve, this is the time to grab one before the prices really start to soar. Alright, I've saved one of the biggest surprises for last. It's a wild card, but if you know, you know. The 1987 Buick GNX. This car is a straight-up legend. In the 80s, while everyone was still drooling over V8s, Buick was out here building one of the fastest cars on the road. And it wasn't even a V8. The GNX was powered by a turbocharged 3.8-liter V6 that cranked out 276 horsepower. But here's the thing. Most people believe it made a lot more than that in reality. The GNX was faster than most Ferraris at the time. Yeah, let that sink in. A Buick faster than a Ferrari. Only 547 of these cars were ever made, so you're looking at serious rarity here. Clean examples are already fetching around $100K, and the sky's the limit for this one. As the muscle car community continues to embrace the GNX as one of the greatest sleeper cars of all time, you're gonna see those prices keep going up. So there you have it. 5 muscle cars that could make you rich AF if you play your cards right. These cars are primed to go up in value, but here's the deal. You've got to move fast. The muscle car market is heating up, and the window to grab these rides while they're still affordable is closing. If you're digging this breakdown and you want more content on how to spot the next big thing in the car world, or if you're just here for the love of muscle, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more content coming your way, from deep dives into legendary cars to tips on how to build a sick ride without breaking the bank. You don't want to miss what's next. And hey, drop a comment below. Tell me which of these rides you think is going to blow up in value, or maybe one I didn't mention that you're watching. Let's chop it up. Until next time, keep your foot on the gas, your hands on the wheel, and your eyes on that next big score. Stay winning, y'all. Shaking when you hit that gas pedal, and you're wondering why. Well, today I've got 10 reasons your ride might be vibrating, and more importantly, how to fix it. Let's dive in. 1. Unbalanced tires or bent wheels. Let's start with the basics. If you're feeling a shake at higher speeds like 60 or 70 miles per hour, it's probably your tires. When tires aren't balanced, the uneven distribution causes vibrations that get worse as you go faster. Even a small imbalance, like as little as an ounce, can cause noticeable shaking. Bent wheels, usually from hitting a curb or a pothole, can make this problem worse. The fix? Get your wheels balanced at a tire shop. They'll use a special machine to make sure weight is evenly distributed. And if you've got a bent wheel, you might need it straightened or replaced. It's quick, and it can save you a lot of headaches and a wobbly drive. 2. Worn out engine mounts. If your car shakes when you accelerate from a stop, this could point to engine mounts. These mounts hold your engine in place and are designed to absorb vibrations. But when they wear out, the engine starts moving around in ways it shouldn't, causing those vibrations to transfer right into your car's frame. You'll notice this more when accelerating or when you first start the engine. It's a pretty involved repair and might set you back a few $100, but it's essential for keeping everything stable under the hood. If left unchecked, it can even lead to damage to other parts, so don't ignore it. 3. Bad CV joints. Car is shaking when you hit that gas pedal. These mounts hold your engine in place and are designed to absorb vibrations. But when they wear out, the engine starts moving around in ways it shouldn't, causing those vibrations to transfer right into your car's frame. You'll notice this more when accelerating or when you first start the engine. It's a pretty involved repair and might set you back a few $100, but it's essential for keeping everything stable under the hood. If left unchecked, it can even lead to damage to other parts, so don't ignore it. 3. Bad CV joints. Got a front-wheel drive car? If you hear a clicking noise when turning and feel shaking when accelerating, it could be your CV joints. These joints connect the transmission to the wheels, allowing for smooth rotation while your car turns and moves. But here's the thing. If the rubber boot that protects them tears, dirt and moisture get in, leading to faster wear. A failing CV joint will cause serious shaking, especially when you step on the gas. Replacing a CV joint isn't cheap, but ignoring it could leave you stranded, so it's worth checking if you hear that telltale clicking. 4. Misfiring cylinders. Now, if your car shudders every time you accelerate, but the engine's also running rough, it could be misfiring cylinders. This means one or more of your engine's cylinders isn't firing properly. It's often due to worn spark plugs, bad ignition coils, or dirty fuel injectors. Misfires can lead to a loss of power and efficiency, and over time, they can even damage the catalytic converter. Replacing spark plugs is something you can do yourself if you're comfortable under the hood. Just make sure you use the correct type for your engine. Ignition coils are a bit more involved, but a mechanic can handle it easily. 5. Low transmission fluid. Feeling a shudder when you shift gears or accelerate? It could be low transmission fluid. Transmission fluid keeps the gears shifting smoothly by reducing friction. When it's low, the transmission can slip, causing those vibrations. Check your car's manual for the right way to measure the fluid level. If you find that it's low, you might also have a leak. Transmission leaks often show up as red or brownish spots under your car, so don't ignore those drips in your driveway. 6. Bent drive shaft or worn universal joints. For those of you with rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive cars, listen up. If the vibration gets worse as you speed up, it could be a drive shaft issue. The drive shaft transfers power from the transmission to the rear wheels, and if it's bent, you'll definitely feel it. Universal joints or U-joints are part of this system, allowing the drive shaft to flex as your suspension moves. When U-joints wear out, they can cause clunking noises and vibrations during acceleration. This one's not a DIY job. You'll need a mechanic to inspect and possibly replace the drive shaft or U-joints. 7. Clogged fuel injectors. If your car hesitates or shakes when you press the gas, you might be dealing with dirty or clogged fuel injectors. When injectors are clogged, they can't spray fuel evenly into the engine, causing uneven combustion and, you guessed it, vibrations. Start with a bottle of fuel injector cleaner. Sometimes that's all it takes. But if the issue persists, you might need to get the injectors professionally cleaned or replaced, especially if your car has high mileage. 8. Loose or missing lug nuts. Don't laugh, this happens more often than you'd think. If your car starts shaking after you've changed a tire, double check those lug nuts. If they aren't torqued properly, your wheel could be wobbling. Definitely not safe. Loose wheels can cause serious vibrations, and if left unchecked, could even come off while driving. So grab a torque wrench and make sure each nut is tightened to the proper specifications. It's a simple fix that can save you from a potential disaster. 9. Worn brake rotors. Even though this one's more common when braking, worn or warped brake rotors can cause vibrations that get worse with speed. If you feel a shake in the steering wheel when slowing down, it's likely your rotors. Warped rotors create uneven braking surfaces, which leads to those vibrations you feel through the pedal and steering wheel. If your rotors are warped, you might be able to get them resurfaced, but sometimes replacing them is the better option, especially if they're too thin. 10. Damaged suspension components. Last but not least, let's talk suspension. If any part of your suspension, like the shocks, struts, or control arms, are worn out, it can cause a bumpy ride, especially when accelerating. A damaged suspension can affect your car's handling and ride quality, making it feel like every bump is sending your car into a fit. If you've tried everything else and still feel those vibrations, it's time to get your suspension checked by a pro. It might cost a bit up front, but it's crucial for both safety and comfort. And that's it. 10 solid reasons why your car is shaking on acceleration, with a deep dive into each issue. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button for more car tips and tricks that'll keep your ride running smooth. Drop a comment if you've experienced any of these issues, or if GTR, aka Godzilla, is so precise that it can lap a track with the accuracy of a sniper, while the Dodge Challenger Hellcat is like a heavyweight boxer swinging for the fences with a 797 horsepower punch. Yeah, that's right, this isn't your everyday car comparison. Welcome to the world where finesse meets ferocity, where JDM meets American muscle, and these two automotive legends have been throwing down since before your dad could even drive stick. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's take a trip back. Imagine it's the 1970s in Japan. Gas prices are up, the economy's booming, and a little company called Toyota decides to shake things up with the Supra, a sleek, turbocharged machine that puts a big grin on every driver's face. Meanwhile, across the Pacific in America, Dodge and Ford are busy making cars that sound like they've swallowed a thunderstorm. Think Hemi engines and V8 roars that could wake up an entire neighborhood. Yeah, you get the picture. It's a rivalry as old as time. Precision versus power, sushi versus steak. And today we're diving into all the juicy details that have fueled this feud for decades. So, what makes this debate so spicy? Well, it's not just about the cars, it's about what they represent. JDM cars, Japanese domestic market for those who aren't fluent in car talk, are all about balance, high-revving engines, and that car as a work of art mentality. They focus on making you feel every curve, every shift, and every turbo spool. They're light, nimble, and they feel like they're part of you. Meanwhile, American muscle cars are the life of the party. Big engines, big sounds, big everything. It's like comparing a katana to a sledgehammer. Both are deadly, but the style, completely different. Now, let's fast forward to today. You've got the latest Nissan GTR putting down a cool 600 horsepower thanks to a twin-turbo V6 and an all-wheel drive system that practically grips the road like a kid holding on to the last slice of pizza. This thing is a tech marvel, using a sophisticated all-wheel drive system and advanced aerodynamics that keep it planted through corners. It's got computer-assisted torque vectoring, which basically means it's always thinking 3 steps ahead of you when you're driving. The result? A car that corners like it's on rails. It's like the GTR is playing chess while you're still figuring out checkers. On the other side, you've got the Dodge Hellcat, bringing a supercharged V8 with nearly 800 horsepower. It's like a hammer with wheels, and the sound? Oh man, that sound. It's a growl that can rattle windows and shake the fillings out of your teeth. You feel it in your bones. The Hellcat's supercharged engine can hit 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.6 seconds, and in a quarter-mile drag race, it's practically a rocket. But here's the thing. This car doesn't just go fast. It lets everyone within a mile radius know it's going fast. It's unapologetically loud and brash, and that's exactly why people love it. But here's where it gets real. Which one is actually better? You've got the JDM fans saying things like, It's not just about power, it's about the driving experience. And the muscle car lovers are like, who cares about corners? I just want to roast my tires. So let's dive into it. Let's break down what each of these monsters can do, where they shine, and where they might just maybe fall flat. First off, let's talk about handling. You take a GTR around some tight bends, and it's like a dance partner that just knows your every move. The all-wheel drive and the sophisticated suspension make it a dream on twisty roads. You could probably even take it on a date and impress it with your terrible Spotify playlist. And because the GTR has this techie, futuristic vibe, you feel like you're driving a car that's one step away from being a transformer. It's got launch control that lets you blast off the line like you're escaping the cops in a high-speed chase movie. And with its adaptive suspension, it can go from comfortable cruiser to track monster with just a few taps. Meanwhile, the Hellcat's approach is a bit different. You see a corner, the Hellcat sees a corner, and it just says, nah, I'm going straight. But can you blame it? This car was built for the drag strip. It's like that friend who's amazing at one thing, like doing a keg stand, but you wouldn't ask them to help you with your calculus homework. If you take it to the track, the Hellcat's straight line speed is ridiculous. You put your foot down, and it's like, you want to go to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 seconds? Sure, why not? It's more about the experience of raw, unfiltered power that makes you laugh like a maniac every time you stomp on the gas. But let's not pretend that straight line speed doesn't matter. I mean, you know what they say. Horsepower sells cars, but torque wins races. And the Hellcat has torque for days. 656 lb-ft to be exact. But here's the twist. Modern muscle cars like the Ford Mustang GT and even the Chevrolet Camaro SS have really stepped up their handling game. They're not just about smoking tires anymore. These cars have gotten smarter, more refined, kind of like that buddy who cleaned up their act after high school, but still knows how to have a good time. The new Mustang, for example, comes with independent rear suspension, and the Camaro's magnetic ride control adjusts in real time to keep things steady through the corners. Alright, let's get into the tech. JDM cars are known for being tech-forward, like that friend who's always got the latest phone and is somehow always a beta tester for new apps. Take the Toyota Supra, for instance. The new one has BMW tech under the hood, making it smooth, responsive, and full of all the tech goodies you didn't know you needed. But some purists think that's like putting pineapple on pizza. A German heart in a Japanese body? Scandalous. But that partnership means you get a turbocharged straight six that's silky smooth and a chassis that's tight and responsive. It's a different kind of thrill, one that's all about precision and balance. On the flip side, the Hellcat is more like, what's tech? It's got horsepower, a loud exhaust, and a supercharger whine that's basically a siren song for car lovers. Sure, it has a few gadgets and touchscreen controls, but let's be real. You're buying this car because you want to feel like Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious. Yet, even the Hellcat's gotten a little more civilized with things like adaptive damping and multiple drive modes that let you dial it down for a smoother ride or turn it up to track mode when you just want to go nuts. But cars aren't just about numbers and tech. They're about the culture, the community. JDM cars have this almost underground vibe, like you're in on a secret if you own one. You go to a JDM meet, and it's a bunch of people geeking out over carbon fiber hoods and comparing boost pressures. It's like a nerd convention, but with more exhaust fumes. And if you've ever heard a Supra or an RX-7 with a proper turbo setup, you know the sound is pure bliss. It's like music to the ears. If that music was performed by a jet engine, then you have the American muscle crowd, which is like one big, loud family reunion where everyone's comparing engine builds and talking about that time they swapped out a carburetor in 20 minutes flat. You pull up to a Cars and Coffee meet with a Hellcat, and suddenly you've got 10 new friends who all want to know how fast you've gone and how many tires you burned through. It's that sense of camaraderie, the kind where you know you'll always find someone to talk cars with, even if you can't hear them over the sound of your engine. But let's settle the debate, or at least try to. We did a little bit of our own research asking people what they thought, and the results? Well, they were mixed, to say the least. Half of the folks we talked to would die on a hill defending the honor of the GTR and its precision engineering. The other half? They just want to hear that Hellcat growl. And honestly, can you blame them? It's like comparing sushi to a steak. Both are amazing, but they scratch different itches. So, if you're still with us, here's the million-dollar question. Which car should you buy? Well, if you love high-tech, precision, and want something that feels like a piece of automotive art, go for the JDM. If you're looking to be the loudest, fastest thing on your block, and you've got a thing for American-made power, grab that Hellcat and don't look back. But let's be real, there's no definitive winner here. It's like choosing your favorite superhero. Some days you want the finesse of Spider-Man, and other days you want the Hulk's smash power. At the end of the day, it's all about what makes you smile when you hit the gas. Maybe you'll even be one of those lucky few who has both in their garage. A twin turbo beast, and a supercharged monster. Now that's living the dream. So drop a comment below. Are you Team JDM or Team Muscle? And if you enjoyed this wild ride, don't forget to hit cruising down a snowy road, cozy in your ride, when suddenly, bam, your car stalls. The temperature's dropping, your battery's dead, and that toasty heater, yeah, not working anymore. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, buckle up, because today we're giving you the ultimate winter car care guide so you don't end up stuck in a snow globe from hell. Welcome back to Cartoons, your home for all things automotive, where we keep you on the road and out of trouble. And trust me, this episode's gonna save your butt when Jack Frost comes knocking. We've got everything from battery basics to emergency kits, all with that signature Cartoons twist. So don't touch that skip button, because if you do, your car might hold it against you. I'm serious. Cars have memories. Let's go. Let's kick things off with the MVP of winter survival, the battery. You know how your phone dies faster in the cold? Yeah, your car battery's the same way, but way more dramatic about it. 1 minute it's good. Next, it's, sorry, I'm out. So here's what you do. Check if it's fully charged. Look at the terminals. They should be clean. Dirty terminals can suck the life right out of that battery like a bad ex. And if your battery's more than 3 years old, it's probably time to replace it before winter gives it the cold shoulder. Oh, and quick tip, keep jumper cables in your trunk. Because if you end up needing a jump start, you don't want to be that guy begging in a parking lot like it's a scene out of a drama series. Speaking of drama, let's talk tires. Don't skip this part. I promise it's not boring. Your tires are literally the only thing between you and an icy slide into a ditch. So grab a penny. Yeah, the one hiding in your cup holder. Flip it upside down and check that tread. If Lincoln's head is showing, you're driving on baldies, my friend. Get those changed ASAP. And if you're living in Snow City, switch to winter tires. Sure, they're a little pricey, but they grip the road like they're clinging to their ex's Netflix account. Seriously though, proper tire pressure is a game changer in winter. Cold air makes the pressure drop faster than your cousin's mixtape, so check it often. Get yourself a tire gauge. It's like $10 and it could save you from spinning out on a frosty morning. Now, fluids. It's not the glamorous part, but it's crucial, so stick with me. Think of your car like a high-maintenance friend. It needs the right drinks to function properly. Winter-grade oil, topped-up antifreeze, and windshield washer fluid rated for freezing temps. The last thing you want is your windshield fluid freezing up mid-splash, turning your drive into a guess-and-go adventure. Make sure you grab the blue stuff, not the regular. You need the kind that won't turn into an ice rink on your windshield. Trust me, I made that mistake once, and my wipers had a bad day. And you know what they say? A bad day for the wipers is a bad day for you. Now let's talk about your car's version of cozy, the heater and defroster. Look, there's nothing worse than a heater that decides to give up on the first cold day, turning your ride into a mobile freezer. Test it now, not when it's -10 outside and your breath is fogging up the windows like a bad horror movie. Make sure that defroster's doing its thing too, because clear visibility is non-negotiable. Nobody likes driving blindfolded, unless you're in one of those trust exercises. Seriously, get that heater working. Nobody wants to look like they're starring in their own winter survival docudrama while waiting for the tow truck. And here's where you go full-on Boy Scout. An emergency kit can turn a bad day into just a mildly inconvenient one. Blanket, flashlight, extra batteries, jumper cables, protein bars, and a first aid kit. Think of it as your winter survival starter pack. And throw in some kitty litter. No, not for a car cat. But it's a lifesaver for traction if you get stuck. Plus, you get to play hero to yourself if you get stuck. Because who wouldn't want to save the day? For themselves. And pro tip, throw a charger in there too. If your phone dies, you won't even have a chance to make that dramatic "I'm stuck in the snow" Instagram story. That's a wrap on the winter car care essentials. And listen, you take care of your car and it'll take care of you. No surprise stalls, no icy mishaps, just smooth, safe rides all season long. So, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell. Because next time, we're talking about how to turn your day. Your car is probably looking a little right now. Dust on the dashboard, coffee stains on the seats, and let's not even talk about those streaks on the windows. But guess what? You can make your ride look like it just rolled off the lot with your own 2 hands. That's right, we're talking DIY car detailing, baby. And I'm gonna show you how to do it right. Whether you're prepping for a car show or just want people to stop judging you at red lights, I've got you covered. Let's dive in. By the way, this ain't your basic car wash tutorial. No. This is next level detailing. Like I just stepped out of a Fast and Furious scene type detailing. You ready? First off, let's talk about what detailing actually is. It's like giving your car a spa day. But instead of a massage, it's getting scrubbed, polished, and pampered until it's smoother than your last pickup line. No offense. A regular car wash? Sure, it gets the job done, like putting on deodorant. But detailing? That's the full shower, skincare routine, and fresh cologne. We're talking deep cleaning, removing dirt you didn't even know was there, and giving the paint a shine so bright, people will need sunglasses just to look at it. Now, before we start, you gotta have the right tools. Let me show you what you need. First up, microfiber cloths. These bad boys are softer than your favorite hoodie, and they don't scratch your paint like those old rags you've been using. Yeah, I know about those. Next, you're gonna want some good car shampoo. Not the stuff from your shower, no 2-in-1 body wash here. Get the legit stuff. pH-balanced car shampoo is your best friend. Keeps the paint shiny and the neighbors jealous. And of course, you'll need wax. Think of it as armor for your car. Makes it look good and keeps it protected. Plus, it smells kinda nice. All right, time to get to work. Let's start with the exterior. Step 1, wash. But not just any wash. You're gonna use the 2-bucket method. Trust me, it's a game changer. 1 bucket with clean water, 1 bucket with soapy water. Dunk your mitt in the soapy water. Scrub, then rinse in the clean water before going back for more soap. That way, you're not just rubbing dirt all over your car like a caveman. And pro tip, start from the top and work your way down. Gravity, baby. Let the dirty water flow down and not back up on your already clean spots. Oh, and please don't wash your car in direct sunlight unless you want water spots everywhere. Your car will look like it has chicken pox. Next up, clay bar. Nah, it's not a bar of soap. It's this thing that'll make your car's paint feel like glass. You know when you run your hand over your car and it feels kind of gritty? That's dirt and contamination stuck in the paint. The clay bar is like the bouncer at a club, just kicking out all the bad stuff. Your paint will be smoother than your Friday night moves. Now polish. You might think, do I really need to polish my car? Yes. Polishing gets rid of those tiny scratches and oxidation, making your paint look fresh. It's like exfoliating your skin, but for your car. Just go easy though. Don't turn your car into a disco ball with swirl marks. Use a polishing pad or an orbital buffer if you've got one, and don't forget the finesse. Now it's time to seal the deal with some wax. Waxing is like putting on that final touch before you head out the door. Not only does it protect your paint, but it gives it that insane shine. You'll apply it in small sections, rub it in, let it haze up, and then buff it out. Easy. You'll feel like Mr. Miyagi. Wax on, wax off. And when you're done, phew, that baby's gonna gleam. And hey, if you want to take it to the next level, you can look into ceramic coating. This is for all you overachievers who want protection for months, even years. It's like wax, but with superpowers. But let's stick with wax for today. All right, let's step inside. The interior needs love too. No one likes a clean outside and a disaster inside. It's like wearing a suit but having messy hair. Ain't nobody got time for that? Start by vacuuming. You'd be surprised how much stuff is hiding in your seats and carpets. Ever lose some fries down there? Yeah, me too. But we're not snack hunting today. We're making this ride spotless. For the dash, use a microfiber cloth and a non-greasy cleaner. You want a clean look, not one that blinds you when the sun hits it. And don't forget those air vents. They collect dust like it's their job. Come on, little guy. Time to say goodbye to all that dirt. Seats next. For cloth seats, you can use a fabric cleaner. For leather, make sure you use a proper conditioner. Leather needs hydration, just like us. No one likes dry, cracked seats. Take care of your leather like you take care of your skin. Now the carpets. Trust me, the carpet is like the memory foam of your car. It holds onto everything. Dirt, mud, spills. A good carpet cleaner and brush will lift those stains like they never happened. And if your car smells like a gym bag, this will help. Now that's fresh. And hey, if you're really feeling fancy, throw in a new air freshener. It's the cherry on top. Last but not least, don't forget about the wheels and tires. They're like the shoes of your car, and you wouldn't leave the house with dirty sneakers, right? Use a dedicated tire cleaner and brush to get in between the grooves. Then apply some tire shine to give them that glossy new tire look. Trust me, this step is what separates the amateurs from the pros. And there you have it. Look at this beauty. I mean, you could eat off this thing, but don't. It's too clean for that. Now your car's not just clean, it's glowing. And the best part, you did it all yourself. Go on, flex a little. You've earned it. If you love this detailing journey as much as I did, hit that like button, subscribe, and share your detailing wins in the comments. I want to see those before and afters. And stay tuned, because next Toyota is like that reliable friend who always shows up. Never too flashy, but you know they got your back every time. But here's the kicker. Toyota's not the only player in this game of who's the most reliable. Nah, some other brands are creeping up, some even flexing harder. Today, we're diving into the top car brands that can go toe-to-toe with Toyota for reliability. Spoiler, it's not just the usual suspects. Buckle up, fam, we're about to take this for a spin. Let's kick it off with a brand that's low-key been serving reliability goals, Subaru. Yo, if you've ever driven a Forester or Outback, you know what I'm talking about. These rides eat rugged terrain for breakfast. They're symmetrical all-wheel drive, straight fire. It's smoother than that guy trying to slide into your DMs, except it actually works every time. Unlike some AWD systems, Subaru's is built to last. We're talking long-term durability, no drama, no sweat. According to Consumer Reports, these Subarus, whether it's the Forester or the Outback, don't play when it comes to handling tough conditions. So yeah, if you thought Toyota had the off-road game on lock with the RAV4, Subaru's here like, hold my coffee. And before you get all defensive like, but the RAV4. Listen, I love me a RAV4 as much as the next guy, but Subaru's got a rep for less mechanical drama over the long haul. Fewer recalls, more good times on the road, point blank. Subaru's reliability game is strong. They might not be all flashy, but they'll go the distance. Now Mazda. Yo, I get it. Mazda's that brand you maybe overlooked in high school, but they've had a glow up, okay? They're like the quiet kid who came back after summer break with a new haircut, and now everyone's asking, where you been? The CX-5 is out here making Toyota sweat. You'd think the RAV4 is all that, but Mazda's like, don't sleep on me. Real talk, the CX-5 brings the fun-to-drive vibes without sacrificing reliability. They've been killing it in reliability surveys, sliding right up next to Toyota. JD Power, Consumer Reports, they've all got Mazda's back on this one. So while Toyota's out here being predictable, which, don't get me wrong, is dope, Mazda's giving you a little more flavor. You want that reliability, but you also want to feel something when you hit the gas? Mazda's your guy. Alright, I know some of y'all are going to bring up Honda, and you'd be right. Honda's always in the mix when we talk reliability. They've been playing chess, not checkers, when it comes to long-lasting engines. And their secret weapon? VTC, baby. It's like the engine has two personalities. Smooth operator in the city. But when you hit those high RPMs, boom, it wakes up like it just had its morning coffee. Whether it's the Civic or the CR-V going up against Toyota's Corolla or RAV4, Honda's no joke. They've mastered this balance of performance and reliability. Ask anyone who's been driving their Honda Civic since the early 2000s with barely any problems. They'll tell you Honda's got that long-term hustle. Plus, fewer headaches when it comes to repairs. Honda's been low-key flexing with fewer issues in transmission and engine durability over the years. Toyota might be sweating just a little. Now let's talk about the real OG, Lexus. Yeah, I know it's technically Toyota's bougie cousin, but that doesn't mean we can't show it some love. Lexus is out here stunting on the competition with that extra layer of refinement. It's like if Toyota is your everyday fit, Lexus is your designer outfit for special occasions. And yo, I get it. The price tag might make your wallet cry, but you're paying for reliability on a whole new level. That RX, built like a tank. Fewer issues, better tech, and a ride smoother than your favorite slow jam. When you stack it up against the Highlander, it's kinda unfair. Same roots, different execution. Lexus is that bougie but reliable cousin who always knows what to do and looks good doing it. It's like when your cousin rolls up in the ES. You already know they're winning. Sure, it's related to the Toyota Camry, but with premium features that take it to another level. And trust me, that reliability doesn't dip just because you're riding in luxury. Fewer powertrain issues, smoother electronics, and it just looks chef's kiss on the road. So there you have it. Toyota might be the MVP in the reliability game, but it's not the only one on the block. Subaru's rugged game is on point, Mazda's got that fun factor with reliability, Honda's the dependable powerhouse, and Lexus, well, Lexus is just playing in a different league altogether. Each one of these brands can roll with Toyota, and in some cases flex even harder. So next time you're shopping, don't sleep on these names. Toyota may be the safe bet, but these brands are ready to bring the heat too. Now hit that like button, share the video, and let me know in the comments. Are you Team Toyota or are you ready to switch lanes? Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.